Hey guys, so welcome to session 3 of Doodle Club. So it's been pretty chilled out over the last few weeks and we're going to continue with that. So this week we've got a couple of themes again, and they are travel, and also we've got the colour blue. So if you want to grab together any colour blue pencils, pens or anything that you have that you've may remember that you've got that blue highlighter in the drawer, it might come in handy. So yeah, let's get started. Right then guys, so we're going to start off with our Doodle Pages, and it's A6 size this week. So we have been doing A5 in our previous weeks, but we're going to go a little bit bigger and see what we can come up with in a larger space. So I'm going to just break up my plain space that I'm starting off with some shapes in the corners there. Just kind of like triangular, but I'm going to just kind of start to curve them off, a bit like kind of like a vintage suitcase. So I'm just going to add in where the nails or like the screws would be, and then I'm just going to colour in the space around where the screws. So I'm just going to do that to all 4 of my corners. And just keep going, so you guys can try different shapes if you want to have a little go of this, or maybe think of other things that you could put in the corners, maybe a cool little pattern or something going on there that you could create. So just onto my last little corner there. Nearly finished. There we go. So next off, I think I'm gonna go in with just kind of like a little outline around my corners, just to kind of frame them almost. Just follow the curve that is already there, and I'm gonna stay about 1/2 centimetre to 1 centimetre all the way around. And then I'm going to go in with the word smile, I think. A little bit of positivity, a little bit of a smile, that's what we need in our day, isn't it? So there we go. I'm going to just practice my bubble letter in there, and then I'm going to go around and just give it an outline like I did with the triangles. Shapes in my corners. So I'm just going to keep on following around, going for quite a kind of loose, bubbly kind of outline around there. And then just up here, I think I'm going to go for a little cupcake. There we go. So there's my little cupcake. I add a little bit of detail in there, and then I'm going to just outline that cupcake too, and just add some little spots around it, and just have a little experiment and see how it looks. And then I'm going to outline that again, and I've kind of almost created like a proper frame around it, just so that it doesn't get lost in the background. And then I'm going to go in with some music notes. I'm going to outline my music notes. I think I might just add another one just underneath here. And there we go. And I'm going to carry on with those dots because I quite like how that turned out on my cupcake. And I'm going to just go around my music notes. There we go. And then just do the outline around that one as well. I'm really happy with how this is looking. I think it needs something maybe just a little bit further down here. So I'm going to fill in some stars. I'm going to just try this pen, which is a little bit more of a thinner tip, which I can get a little bit more of a sharper point in. I'm just going to go in with a Sharpie and add some dots in there, and then Gonna go in with a little snail, I think. I haven't drawn a snail in a few days, and just add some little bits of detail, and then just go in with that thinner pen again. Just add, there we go, do my outline all the way around, and then I'm going to do my dots all the way around my little snail there, just like that. I'm not going to worry too much if it kind of goes off the page or anything with my outline. I'm just going to frame it, and then I'm going to finish off those stars that don't quite like them, and I think I'm going to just fill this kind of block space here that's quite big, and I'm going to just add in those little dots as we go along as well. And already I'm filling that kind of big space with just whatever comes into my head. I'm nearly finished with my stars, so you can try different shapes. Maybe try what it looks like with just triangles, or just like simplify it a bit more, or practice your stars. And there we go. And then I'm gonna fill this space, I think, with another pattern. Right then guys, so I did lose the footage of me doing the last little bit of the kind of water droplet shapes. So here's just a little bit of a close-up of the finished bit, but I just add some dots there in between the shapes. Right then guys, so our theme this week is travelling. So when we're travelling, we like taking lots of photos, so I'm going to start off there with a camera. So I'm just going to sketch it out with a pencil first and just mark out where I want those kind of basic shapes to be. So there we have, I started off with just like a rectangular shape, and then I've just drawn the circular lens shape in the middle with a little like ribbon kind of looking line shape to use as I cannot think of the word, oh my goodness, the handle, not the handle, the yeah, comment below if you know what the word is that goes around your neck. But yeah, I'm just going to go around with my pen. So I've just got a fine liner. I'm just going to go around the straps. There we go. So I'm going to go around the strap there as well with my fine liner, just doing quite free, like freely drawn hat lines there, just to give it a bit of kind of motion and movement. So I'm just going to go in with a rubber and just rub out those pencil guidelines that we created. Okay, and then our next little doodle is a postcard. So start off with a rectangular shape again, just mark out where you'd put the stamp, and we just do a little line down the middle as a little guideline for where like the centre is as well, like you get on postcards. And then I'm going to just write the YMCA's address, so just make sure that you be safe when you're writing out an address, make sure that you don't post it all online. And then I'm just going to put, hey, missing you millions, big love from Claire, with a little kiss on the end. And then I'm going to just draw around that rectangular shape that we started off with. So there is our little postcard. So I'm just going to rub out those guidelines again and onto our next little doodle. So I'm just going to do a little rectangle shape up here again, and we're going to create a little passport. So do your rectangle, curve off two of the edges, and then draw some lines for the pages, and then just connect it up to that rectangle. Just write a little passport on the front and rub out those guidelines, and there's your little passport. So on for our little fourth doodle of this page. We've got quite a few on here. I'm going to do a little aeroplane, and then I'm just going to curve off the front of the plane and add in the wings, just like that. I'm going to go around the outline just to make it stand out, and just add in a few little bits of detail there just to kind of make it look a bit more like a plane. But all different planes look different. Well, you've got so many different types of planes, so just have a little Google, find one that you like the look of, maybe one that you've been on your travels with. And we're going to do another little doodle down here, like a little boarding pass. And then I'm just going to write out the information that you'd normally get on a boarding pass. So this one is Canada to John Lennon Airport. And then it's on August the 1st, and which is my birthday, just letting you guys know in advance. And the flight is at 8 a.m. there. And I'm just going to draw around that. And the amount of boarding passes that are different as well, so there isn't really a right or wrong with this, so don't worry. Just get a little bit of detail and a bit of information. And I'm just going to say how long the flight is. I'm just taking a wild guess that it's over 6 hours. Probably a bit longer, maybe, the journey. And I'm going to put 10 kilogram allowance. And gate opens at 7:45. So there we go. Okay, so here I think I'm going to draw like a little vintage style suitcase. Maybe that's where I was inspired by the corners for my first doodle. Maybe it was already on my mind because I knew the plans, and I'm going to just add in those corners and some stickers from all around the world. I'm not going to put too much detail, I'm not going to focus on them too much. Just going to go around that in my fine liner and add a little handle. It just kind of stands out, and I'm going to give it that like 3D effect with my rectangular shape. Just go over my little corner shapes and over my stickers. I'm just going to do like different patterns to show that there are different stickers there. Rub out my pencil guidelines again, and I think I'm going to do one more little doodle up in this corner here, and I'm going to go in with a map. So I'm going to just start off with kind of rectangular shape, but I do want it slightly overlapping like a few of my other bits have as well on the page. And then I'm just going to think of some places maybe that I've travelled to with YMCA, with Go, and we've been to Birmingham before, so I'm going to do a little Stoke, and I know in between Stoke and Birmingham we have Wolverhampton and Stafford in there, so I'm just going to do like a little pathway between them, just fill in the little names there with the pen of the places. And then I'm going to go around the outside of that and create the outside of my map. And rub out those guidelines again. Just give it a little general tidy up. And there we have it. A little doodle page. So, there's my travel-inspired doodle page. Okay guys, so our next theme is the colour blue. So I'm just going to test out my colours there, and I've got 3 different shades of blue that come in this pack, and they're quite nice shades of blue there. So things that are blue, so I'm thinking maybe a blueberry. So blueberry is kind of like that oval shape with a little bit of a thing in the middle there. And then I'm going to go in with a butterfly. So there's my little, well, not my little, it's quite a big butterfly. I'm just going to get the kind of basic shape and just mark out where a little bit of the shadings are. So I'm going to go around the outline of that. And again, just quite free with my pen markings. And there we have it. Beautiful butterfly. And then I'm going to go around my blueberry because I forgot to outline my blueberry. Okay, and then I think I'm going to go in with some crayons because I can incorporate my colour blues there. So I'm just going to go with the basic shape, and then I think this is what a crayon looks like. If any of you know exactly, make sure that you correct me in the comments. But I know that there's like a straight line and a curved line, and then it says Crayola down the bottom. So there we go. I'm going to do the 3 of them, and then just add that last bit of detail. There we go. And then I'm going to go in with some paint tubes, I think, down here. So I'm going to just kind of copy off the paint tubes that I've got, that are like smallest tubes. And you can design your own tubes, make them look however you want. And I'm going to go in with 3 of them again, like I did with the crayons. It's quite like the composition of how they cross over. And then I'm going to do another one coming out of the bottom of the page just here. There we have it. Just tidy up with your rubber as you go along so that you don't forget what lines to draw around. So again, go in with my fine liner, just add those little bits of detail. I can just kind of not give too much information and let the viewer kind of make up the rest, but just the basic shapes will do. There we have it. Rub out all those guidelines with our rubber again. And just tidy up a little bit. A butterfly there. Here we go. So now I can go in with my markers. So I am going to include some grey in there. I've got 2 different shades of grey. So I'm going to start off with my lightest colour blue as a base colour. I'm just going to colour it all in like that. And then I'm going to get my medium colour. And I know it's my medium colour because I've already done testers. And I'm just going to give a little bit of shading, just leaving a little bit of that lighter colour still coming through. And then I'm going to go in with my darkest colour blue and add in where that shadow really is, like quite saturated, just like that. And then I'm going to go in on my butterfly with this colour blue, and I'm going to just do a base colour like I did with the blueberry, and I'm just going to colour in also in the direction that I can imagine the pattern of the butterfly as well, just like that. And with some different pens as well, you can get some really cool effects with the way that you direct your pen markings. And there we have half of the butterfly coloured in blue, and then just do this last little bit, the other half that we can see, just like that. So now I'm going to go in with my medium colour again, and I'm going to just add in little bits of detail and show where the kind of colour of the blue gets darker. So I'm just going to go in with a stripe of the darkest colour blue that I have as well, and just keep on going in with that, building it up. I know it's quite dark in the centre of the butterfly, and then just blend it out with that medium and the lightest, and just keep working onto it like that. And I don't want it blended in too much though, because on a butterfly it does show kind of like all the veins, almost like a leaf does. So there we go. Here's the veins there. So I'm going to just go in with my colour grey, and I'm going to just add a little bit just on the top there, just to have a whole different kind of shade and tone of blue altogether. So onto my paint tubes and my Crayola crayons, and I'm just going to colour in the Crayola, the whole thing, and the paint tubes are just going to have like a couple of stripes. I'm going to use the width of my actual pen, so I'm going to do one mark near the top of the tube and 2 marks, sorry, the other way around. I'm going to do 2 marks at the top and 1 at the bottom, and I'm just going to use those 3 shades of blue I have just to colour them in, and then I'm going to go in with my grey just to add in any other bits of detail and just draw around those pen marks that I've done and write paint on the tubes. And back to my butterfly, just adding in our light shade of grey and then going around it with the darker shade, just add a little bit, just colour the whole thing in the end. But yeah, there we go. So now that we've done our themed doodles, we're going to go in with our doodle page for today. So I'm practicing my bubble lettering again. I've quite enjoyed doing that in the past 2 weeks, so I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do quite a block squared off kind of lettering typography for the club bit, and then I'm going to outline it like I did on the first doodle that we did of the session, and then I'm going to do like a little second outline around that just so it kind of makes it stand out a bit more. I'm going to do a little blueberry that we did from our colour themed, and then I'm going to do a little butterfly as well. I'm just going to make that a little bit longer so it's in proportion. Just do the second half, and there we have it. A little butterfly, and then I'm going to do some of those crayons that we done in our last doodle. Again, and then just here I think I'm going to do a travel inspired doodle of our camera. And there we have our lens, and I'm going to draw the strap. Thankfully I remembered what it was called, and there we have it. And then just up here I'm going to go in with the number 3, since it is session 3 and this is our reflection doodle. I'm just going to outline that so it doesn't get lost. And then I'm going to go in with the word blue because we had our theme of blue as well, just to practice my bubble writing there. And then I think I'm going to go in with some colour, so I'm going to go in with the blue on the butterfly like I did in the actual theme, and then just a little bit of grey, and just go in with that lighter grey just to add in those darker shades of blue. And my blueberry, there we have it, the base colour, and then just build up that shadow again. This is good practice because when you draw things again you can improve them and you can kind of critique it, but in a good way as well. So I'm going to just go in with my darkest blue for the first letter of my words, and then go in with a slightly lighter blue and just do kind of like a singular line to colour it in. There we go. And then go in with my lightest blue in that kind of frame I created, and not colouring it in too perfect, just going for quite a scribbly line. Quite like how that's turned out. And now I'm going to just go in and just outline all of that doodle. I'm just going to frame it all kind of like all together, bring them all, kind of connect them all together, just like that. And I quite like the way it does kind of go off the page as well. And I'm just going to do some of them stars that I done in my first doodle page of today. Sorry, my A6 size doodle page from today. And then I'm going to do some dots that are also inspired by that all the way around. I'm just going to keep going. And this is good practice as well for where you want to put your pen down on the paper and getting that exact distance in between each dot. You just keep going. Sometimes it feels like forever, but it does look cool when you're finished as well. There we have it. Let's frame with the dots and then go around it, I think, again, because I do like the way it looks framed with that blue around Doodle Club. I like the way it's kind of double framed with something in between, so the dots look quite nice in between as well. So there we go. And then in this bottom corner and this top corner, I'm going to just do those corner bits that we've done on like the suitcase with the little screws inside, just like that, and colour them in. And then I think I'm just going to go in with that pattern from the first doodle that we've done, our doodle page again. And I'm just going to go in, and I know that we haven't got footage of me doing this, so here it is. It had a little tutorial, but it's really basic. Obviously, you're just doing kind of that overlay shape. And then I'm just going to go over to this side and just carry on with that kind of, yeah, I've got a little bit bigger as I've gone off here, but I quite like that. And there we have it, my little doodle reflection page for today. So guys, that's the end of our session for today for Doodle Club. It's been a brilliant session. I've loved doodling some little travel themed with the camera and stuff in there. It's been brilliant, and the colour blue, well, I've never loved the colour blue so much, but yeah, it's been a brilliant session. And like I said before, if any of you guys have got any feedback or anything, please send that in. Any photographs of your work that you create during these sessions, we love to see them, or any artworks outside, we love to see them too. So yeah, that's all from me anyway for today, guys. But yeah, it's been a great session, and stay safe and wash your hands. Bye guys.